So, Bob, I see we've got a lot of developers out in the office today.
There's a lot of smart people hanging around here.
What is
I
happening?
feel, yeah, I feel kind of at the low end of the IQ range here.
That's why I'm in this room.
I know. I feel like we should just separate ourselves or maybe we should go out there and get a little osmosis. Yeah. So everybody's in for a couple days. We have a remote team. Everybody's kind of spread all over the US, but it's great when everybody comes together. And it's kind of precipitated by what's happened over the past 2 months in the world of AI development. So in early February, Anthropic released Claude Opus 4.6, and there was this step function change that happened in terms of the maturity of the models and the ability to write code. And so what that brought about is this new era where it's very clear to me that AI should be writing the code. Maybe not for everybody today, but certainly by the end of this year, humans should not be writing code. The AI should be writing the code and the humans should be driving it. So this is a evolution that's happening in our development team. And so what's happened is that a number of the developers have picked up and have started doing this process where basically you tell AI what the project is that you want done, and then AI will create a plan, and then the developer will kind of modify that plan, approve it, and then the AI will write the code, and then the developer will look at that code and improve it and make sure that it's good and meets our standards and things like that. And then it goes through our normal code review process. And so what's happening now is that developers aren't necessarily in their code editors. They are talking to an AI, and the AI is talking back to them saying what it's in the process of doing. This is going to significantly accelerate the software development process. So, a number of the stories from the kind of early adopters of this are that projects that would have taken a week or more take less than a day to get done. The results are really quite dramatic. And so what we're doing here is we're coming together to have everybody share how they're going about this process, what tools they're using, how they're optimizing things, the types of skills that they're inputting into the AI systems and so forth, and just overall everybody improving. There also are a number of the developers that had not really shifted to this or were not fully, up to speed on this new process because it's really happened in the past 6-7 weeks. It's like things are moving so fast and you feel like, oh, I'm out of date just in a matter of a few weeks. So what's happening actually right now is everybody's kind of pair programming with their AI agents, and an experienced person that's used this methodology before is working with somebody that hasn't done it yet to go through and actually build some code and build some real projects. So it's very exciting what's going to happen. So you say, well, geez, this is great. Developers are going to be twice as productive. Instead of 2,000 releases a year, we're going to do 4,000 releases a year for our customers. So the reality is that we're going to put out a lot more code. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time because there's learning involved and tweaking and things like that. But certainly by the end of this year, we're going to be producing twice as many features within a month than we used to be able to produce. The problem with that is that writing the code is only a part of the whole code process. So what we've agreed on this week is kind of the overall pipeline that we're going to be using and how we're injecting AI into the actual flow and process. So what typically happens is an account manager or a sales rep will be talking with a customer and an idea will come up or a feature request will come up, or I wish this worked this way, or you guys should really do this. And what they do is they go into GitHub and they create an issue. Now, what we've just done is we've kind of standardized the format for those issues so that there's more information. And the reason why we want more information is so that we can hand that off to AI. And AI can actually evaluate that for two things. One is, what's the business value of that? So Alice and I have actually trained an agent on what the business value that you're looking for is. Like, does it impact a lot of customers? Does it improve our revenue? Does it improve people sticking with us because they're features that are used by a lot of people? Or is this a very narrow type of a use case that only one customer would really benefit from? And they could do that themselves with a little Excel file. So it would take us a week to program and it would take them 5 minutes to solve the problem on their own. So like, evaluate the business value of that and give it a score from 1 to 5, 1 being low, 5 being high. And then one of our developers has been working on code review automation, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but we'll take a piece of that and actually use it to evaluate this problem to say, how difficult is this to actually implement in code? Is this going to take 100 lines, 1,000 lines? Are we going to have to completely rewrite how we do volunteers or whatever? And we'll assign a difficulty code to that. What that will do is it will give us kind of some guidance that we will use in the coming months to figure out which projects we're going to take on and who does which projects and which projects we utilize first to have the AI write the code. So what happens typically today is that all these issues come in, and on Mondays, Steven, our CTO, Allison, myself, and Bruce Kratz, who's our VP of development, all sit together and we go through all the 30, 40, 50 issues that come in each week, and we categorize them, we assign them, and then we kind of move on from there. What we're thinking that this step will start to do is we'll do assignment of issues to individual developers. And when those assignments happen, AI will take over. They'll take that issue, they'll create a plan, which is basically just like a prompt instructions and stuff like that. The developer will review that plan, modify it as appropriate, and then say, write the code. And then the developer will take that code, will do a code review, and then put it through our normal code review process. But before it goes to the normal code review process, it's going to go through this new code review that AI is going to be doing. So we're working on training AI agents on all of the past pull requests and issues that have been completed and released, as well as all of our standards, all of our kind of design system, all the common things. And then what we've also discovered is that, and this will be useful at the planning stage too, we can educate Claude with skills. And the skills are going to be broken down by domain. So like email might be a domain, or volunteers might be a domain, or reports might be a domain that is applied to this issue. So the set of skills for how to write code in the membership part of our system is that AI will be specifically trained on that part of it. So when it creates a plan, writes a code, and then does a code review, it's basically learned from the 100 issues that we've executed before in the membership part of the system or something like that.
Is it going to be one AI that knows all the skills? And then if it's an email issue, it just kind of focuses on that first?
So this is where this concept of multi-agent and agentification of things come in. There's like orchestration agents and then specialized agents. And so think of it as a specialized agent that knows all about the email system. So if I'm going to add a component to the email system, then it picks up the context of how the code is written in the email part of our system and has learned from the 100 or 200 issues that have gone through on the email system. It's read and seen all of the GitHub comments. So like if Jen is doing a piece of code, Rich is doing the code review, and then Steven's doing the final code review. From Jen's first initial commit of the code to each change in each comment, the AI is actually learning all of that and kind of putting that all together into this very knowledgeable agent. One of the things you might hear in AI is this concept of a context window. So the bigger the context window, the more thinking it can do and the more stuff it can hold. Well, the context window for our entire code base is too big, and therefore it won't do a good job of understanding the whole code base. But if you focus it in on certain areas of the system that have certain patterns, and then it has knowledge about what the membership system is supposed to do or what the email system is supposed to do, then it will write better plans and it will write better code. We've just actually started this. We only have about a half a dozen skill agents that we've trained so far, but we anticipate there's probably going to be about 40 or 50 of them. Then it will go back to human personal review. We'll do a second AI code review process because it's cheap and easy to do. And then we'll do our final review and release of the software. So there'll still be humans all along the way. What we're hoping is that as we learn and we make each of these elements on the AI front better, so like we'll make our code review agent better and better, we'll make our plan creation and the skills that it's going to be ingesting better and better. One of the things that's coming out of this development meeting is some of the developers are going off and basically working on making each of these AI steps actually better. That will help. And then the actual models themselves, so, Opus 5.0 will come out, and ChatGPT 6 will come out, and Gemini 4 will come out, and all these improvements will basically make each one of these AI steps better and better. And so during the course of the year, we would expect to gain more and more confidence in the AI, which will enable us to speed things up considerably. But if you look at this overall process, the idea is how can we keep up with AI writing code, but still maintain quality, but also leverage AI across other pieces of this total pipeline. So it's incredibly interesting. It's just mind-blowing what the AI is able to do now. It's mind-blowing how it's able to evaluate issues for business value. Allison and I spent like an hour training the bot based upon a number of blogs. And then basically we had a conversation back and forth about the types of issues that come through and what's high value and what's low value. And it basically created a prompt instruction, markdown files that the agent is instructed by. And we tested it out against a number of different issues. And it was remarkably close to what Allison and I would have scored like an issue for business value previously.
So that's part of what you would do on Monday is score the issue?
Yeah, because we're like, is this something that, we really should be paying attention to? Is this something that's urgent, or is this something that we just put into, like a next generation of, whenever we get around to making Photos version 3? Which we're actually in the process of doing. But we'll file an issue in the Photos version 3. Then Joshua, who's actually working on Photos version 3, will see that issue and determine if he wants to make that a part of that or not. That's the process that we do today. And kind of the early benefits of this are going to be, we're hoping to identify issues that the AI thinks are fairly low difficulty and fairly high business value to be able to move through, because we have to move through 50 issues in an hour and a half, right? It's not much time. But if AI is helping us do that evaluation, and we have a bunch of tier 1 issues, and tier 1 difficulty issues are easy for AI to write today, it's not going to develop our text marketing system that Joel is working on right now. That's a little bit over its head. But to take nice, small, defined tasks, like add a column to a report or something like that, AI will be able to write that code now. And let's take advantage of that, and let's assign that and get it flowing through.
Is it also closing issues, or is that still on you?
No, we'll do a human thing. So what'll happen is in the comments, it'll say agent-based business value is a 3 and agent-based difficulty is a 1. And then if Steven looks at it and says, no, this is a really difficult problem, Steven will type in, difficulty 5. And so what we'll eventually do is we'll get assignments and these scores to all of our issues, and we'll be able to sort them better and, prioritize, what comes first, second, third, and so forth. And also kind of put it into buckets of skill level of our developers, because we have a range of skill levels, and some projects can only be done by a few developers that are kind of at the high end of the team. And what Alice and I are hoping is that the scoring and the AI automation will help us kind of maximize the throughput of the team. Like I said, it's such an exciting time. There's so many moving pieces and so much opportunity to just deliver more to our customers. We're running as fast as we can on this stuff.
Now, Joel here, one of our developers, has something he wants to say.
Like and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Hello, Internet. I'm here.
I should just have you record that for all the videos.